that fans they're voting with their money, their pocketbooks right now, that they're not entertained by this brand of basketball. Sophie Cunningham, guys, she was the light of our life tonight. She went absolutely berserk, particularly in the fourth quarter. I do want to bring this up. When Brittany Sykes got hurt,
no one imagined that ticket sales would become one of the hottest topics in the WNBA. Not analysts, not fans, and certainly not the Indiana Fever. Yet over the past several weeks, a growing discussion has transformed from a simple conversation about tickets into something far more significant. What began as a routine debate quickly evolved into a larger story connected to Caitlin Clark, Fever supporters, and a wave of attention that has captured the entire basketball community. Many fans now believe this isn't merely about purchasing seats. It's about the statement those purchases represent, and that belief has fueled one of the most passionate debates of the season. In the beginning, the issue barely registered. Headlines centered on games, highlights focus on Caitlin Clark, and most discussions revolve around wins, losses, and team performance. But beneath the surface, supporters kept raising the same question. Just how much impact does Caitlin Clark have beyond the court? The answer became impossible to overlook. Wherever Clark appears, attention follows. Television audiences grow. Social media conversations surge. Basketball discussions dominate online spaces, and increased visibility naturally brings business opportunities. That's why the latest controversy gained momentum so quickly. Some fans felt their support wasn't being fully recognized, while others pushed back against that idea. Some pointed fingers at coaching decisions, while others blamed unrealistic expectations. Before long, what started as a small debate expanded into a major storyline. Then the conversation intensified even further. Ticket discussion spread across social platforms. Content creators weighed in with their opinions. Comment sections erupted with arguments, and nearly everyone seemed to have a different perspective. Some believed the reaction was exaggerated, while others viewed it as supporters making their voices heard. There was little agreement, but one thing was certain: everyone was paying attention. Suddenly, the Indiana Fever found themselves at the center of another nationwide discussion, one they likely never anticipated. Organizations prefer attention focused on victories, momentum, and success stories, not debates surrounding ticket sales. Yet, once the spotlight shifted, the conversation spread rapidly and became impossible to ignore. The most remarkable part was that it all started with something that seemed simple on the surface, only to grow into a discussion much larger than anyone expected.
Caitlin Clark has that basketball in her hand, the best player in the league, the best point guard in the league, hands down. It ain't close. It ain't nothing to talk about. Caitlin Clark with another double-double, 21 points, 14 assists, as she did her part to secure a victory for the Indiana Fever. She also contributed 5 rebounds, but the shooting was awful. And I'm going to be real, Caitlin, mama, I need you to make shots. I need you to make shots. Caitlin Clark didn't hit her first 3 until late in the fourth quarter. She was 1 of 8 from 3, 5 of 15 from the floor. Okay, off shooting nights happen. She shot nearly 50% last week, nearly 40% from 3, while she became player of the week. But hey, man, we got high expectations. I need CeCe to make shots. But this was still a quality game. We're going to get into...
At that point, the discussion was no longer centered on tickets. It had evolved into something much deeper: value. The value of loyal fans, the impact of star talent, and the importance of understanding the people who support the team. Those are the kinds of issues that naturally spark strong reactions. Emotions intensified as supporters voiced their opinions. Critics pushed back, and nearly everyone found themselves taking a side. Then another layer was added to the story. Every time the Indiana Fever became part of conversation, Stephanie White's name seemed to follow. Some fans questioned certain coaching choices, while others strongly defended the direction of the team. Some pointed to clear signs of progress, while others believed the results still weren't matching the growing expectations. As more viewpoints emerged, the debate became impossible to ignore. And that's exactly why the story kept gaining momentum. Whenever major topics collide, Caitlin Clark, the Fever, passionate fans, coaching decisions, and the broader WNBA, the outcome is almost always the same: enormous attention. That's precisely what unfolded here. What started as a limited discussion expanded into something far larger than anyone anticipated. For many supporters, the explanation is straightforward. People are deeply invested. They care about the Indiana Fever. They care about Caitlin Clark. And they care about the future of the franchise. That's why every headline feels more important. Every decision attracts scrutiny, and every conversation grows into something much bigger than it first appears.
She ended the game the other day, shooting the lights out from three. She shot the lights out from three in this game. And this is how last year started, when Sophie Cunningham went on about a 6-week tear that absolutely contributed to this team somehow, some way making the playoffs last year. It was Sophie Cunningham. If you go back and look at her three-point shooting last year for about 6 weeks, she went bananas. Well, it looks like we're starting that all over again. By the way, let's just keep it real. I brought it up during this game. I posted it early on. Until Sophie went absolutely bananas with three-pointers tonight, this crowd was dead. This crowd was not fired up in the least bit. Here we go. Caitlin Clark right here, splitting the D. Let's check it out. Clark. Let's check it out right there to Monique Billings. And look, Caitlin Clark had 14 assists tonight. You know, at one point I thought Caitlin Clark had a chance to get 20 assists tonight. No kidding. Can we have an uncomfortable conversation about the fact that it's time for Sophie to start over Lexi Hull? There, I said it. I said it out loud. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but I said it. Sophie Cunningham. Let's check it. Let's check it right here. Caitlin out to Sophie. One side step. Boom. Knocked it down. Beautiful. And she would just keep knocking them down. Let's go.
On the layup. Fever with
Caitlin again to Sophie. Boom. Knocked it down again. Sophie was on a tear, and she showed it right here.
Every discussion feels amplified, and every disagreement seems to carry even more weight. That's because the Indiana Fever are no longer viewed as just another team. They have become one of the most closely followed organizations in basketball, where every development turns into a headline. Every headline sparks debate, and every debate fuels even more conversation. That's simply the environment they operate in now. But here's what should catch the attention of every rival team. Despite all the controversy, speculation, and non-stop discussion, the Fever continue to dominate the spotlight. The team remains one of the biggest talking points in the sport, and Caitlin Clark continues to sit at the center of that attention. Think about how remarkable that is. A discussion that started with ticket sales somehow circles back to Clark and her influence on the game. That's not coincidence, that's impact. It's the kind of presence that keeps a story alive long after most people expect it to fade. Whether people support the narrative or challenge it, they keep watching. The league is watching. The media is watching. Fans across the basketball world are watching. And right in the middle of it all stands the Indiana Fever. Which brings us to the biggest question. What comes next? Will this conversation eventually lose momentum? Or will it continue growing into another defining chapter of Caitlin Clark's influence on professional basketball? Right now, nobody has the answer. But one thing is beyond debate. People are paying close attention. And when that level of attention exists, every decision carries significance. Every response is analyzed, and every storyline can become much larger than expected. Now it's your turn. Do you believe fans are making a statement? Or do you think the situation is being blown out of proportion? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and send it to another Fever fan, because this story feels like it's only getting started.
Social media, not who made the damn half-court shot, because this Indiana Fever team misses entirely too many layups. Caitlin Clark could have had 20 assists today if people made layups. Aaliyah Boston smoked the layup. Lexi Hall smoked the layup. Sophie Cunningham smoking layups. I mean, people smoking layups. Michaela Timpson smoking layups. Like, The layup thing is getting very, very ridiculous. Straight up, it's getting very, very ridiculous, man. We got to get into Sophie Cunningham. Blonde Bomber. Sophie Cunningham is still on fire from Connecticut, guys. Sophie Cunningham got on a heater in Connecticut, went on an 11-0 run to close out the Connecticut Sun, and she stayed on that heater today. Off the bench in 24 minutes. Sophie Cunningham was 8 of 11 from the floor, 6 of 7 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. She had 6 rebounds and poured in 24 points off the bench. Sophie was on fire. She didn't miss her first shot until like damn near fourth quarter. Sophie Cunningham was on fire. Defense on point, making every three damn near. Sophie Cunningham is definitely providing that spark, and that punch off the bench offensively that the Indiana Fever need. Because let's be real, Raven Johnson can't score off the bench. Maisha Hines-Allen isn't a scorer off the bench. Michaela Timpson can't score off the bench. We don't have no bench scoring. So it's like if Sophie Cunningham does not score for us off the bench, we're not getting points off the bench, guys. That's just the reality of the situation with this Indiana Fever roster. Now, Maisha Hines-Allen went out. She got hit in the face. Blood was everywhere. I thought the refs was absolute garbage. They was dog crap in this game. Maisha Hines-Allen gets hit in the face. Blood everywhere. No whistle. Caitlin Clark getting hit. First 3 drives of the game. No fouls, no whistles. The refs, I thought y'all was supposed to be better. I thought y'all was supposed to call more fouls, bro. This is kind of crazy. The refs was trash. Caitlin Clark is getting fouled nonstop. You know, Caitlin Clark, you got to make your free throws. You missed 4 free throws today. I don't know what happened, but that does not need to happen again. But the Indiana Fever took care of business. Marina Mabry did try to go on a flurry in the second and third quarter.
No one imagined that ticket sales would become one of the hottest topics in the WNBA. Not analysts, not fans, and certainly not the Indiana Fever. Yet over the past several weeks, a growing discussion has transformed from a simple conversation about tickets into something far more significant. What began as a routine debate quickly evolved into a larger story connected to Caitlin Clark, Fever supporters, and a wave of attention that has captured the entire basketball community. Many fans now believe this isn't merely about purchasing seats. It's about the statement those purchases represent, and that belief has fueled one of the most passionate debates of the season. In the beginning, the issue barely registered. Headlines centered on games, highlights focus on Caitlin Clark, and most discussions revolve around wins, losses, and team performance. But beneath the surface, supporters kept raising the same question. Just how much impact does Caitlin Clark have beyond the court? The answer became impossible to overlook. Wherever Clark appears, attention follows. Television audiences grow. Social media conversations surge. Basketball discussions dominate online spaces, and increased visibility naturally brings business opportunities. That's why the latest controversy gained momentum so quickly. Some fans felt their support wasn't being fully recognized, while others pushed back against that idea. Some pointed fingers at coaching decisions, while others blamed unrealistic expectations. Before long, what started as a small debate expanded into a major storyline. Then the conversation intensified even further. Ticket discussion spread across social platforms. Content creators weighed in with their opinions. Comment sections erupted with arguments. And nearly everyone seemed to have a different perspective. Some believed the reaction was exaggerated, while others viewed it as supporters making their voices heard. There was little agreement, but one thing was certain: everyone was paying attention. Suddenly, the Indiana Fever found themselves at the center of another nationwide discussion, one they likely never anticipated. Organizations prefer attention focused on victories, momentum, and success stories, not debates surrounding